Hey, gang, I want to make a quick announcement. Since we started this podcast in 2011, only the last 20 episodes have been available on the streaming services. You had to go back to the Podbean app or to the website, howdidigethere.podbean.com, to access past the last 20 episodes. Well, gang, big surprise. As of now, the last 100 episodes are available on all streaming sites. That includes the From the Vault episodes. All of the episodes, the last 100 episodes from this episode back, are available now on all streaming services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Overcast, Stitcher. Go there. Whichever one you're subscribed to, whichever one you use the most, go subscribe to How Did I Get Here. Follow us, rate us, leave us a comment if you can, and check out the episodes, man. 100 episodes, all available. If you still want to go back beyond the 100 episodes, you can download the Podbean app or go to howdidigethere.podbean.com and always scroll through our entire catalog. All right? Get out there and enjoy the last 100 episodes of How Did I Get Here on your favorite streaming services. Let's get down. Attention, Austin musicians and music industry professionals. Are you having a difficult time navigating these tricky waters? Well, the Austin Music Foundation is here to help you. The Austin Music Foundation is a nonprofit dedicated to strengthening and connecting the local music community with innovative programs that empower musicians, music industry professionals, and music businesses within Austin's creative economy. With expert panels, consultations, mentoring, and mixers, AMF's programs provide the necessary tools and opportunities to help the Austin music industry succeed. Now look, ever since COVID took over last year, everything's moved online. The consultations are online. They're at no cost to the artist or to the music industry professional. Just go to austinmusicfoundation.org. That's austinmusicfoundation.org to find out how they can help you. Austin Music Foundation is here to help. Let's get down.
And you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here?
It's time for How Did I Get Here? And now here is your host,
All right, hello, I'm Johnny. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys all had a good weekend, whatever you did this weekend. I want to thank you for tuning in because, gang, I know you have a lot of choices out there. You have a lot of choices, and you chose to listen to How Did I Get Here, and I'm very grateful for that. For that, I will bring you a very great show today, okay? I promise you. As I said, I hope you guys had a really good weekend. I had a good weekend myself. It was beautiful weather here in Austin. I went to Houston on Saturday, though, to play a show with Skyrocket. We actually played the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation Gala. That was a long evening for these folks in tuxedos. I think the event was like 6:30 at night till midnight. There was like a cocktail hour when you get there, a sit-down dinner, some speakers, a live auction, and then as your reward for being good for all that time, Skyrocket, the band, takes the stage to rock your ass off. And so that's what we did. When we took the stage, those people were so ready to get up and do something, man. They were dancing in their seats where they could, like the dance floor was smaller than the giant ballroom full of people. So everybody dancing, they're dancing on their seats. They're dancing around the stage. It's a whole scene. When we took a break about halfway through, almost midnight, and came back to the stage, a lot of people had made their exit, man. They were gone for the night. But we had a really good time, man. It's funny. We've been playing for 5 weeks in a row, every week. Couple times a week most of the time, rehearsing every week, really diligently rehearsing and getting a lot of new songs down and just getting in the groove of playing all the time now. And we're firing on all cylinders. Like we get to these gigs, like the sound checks are short because we got our shit together and ready to go. When we hit the stage, we hit it on fire. We hit it on 10, ready to go. That's what this party was like. And that's what we probably wore them out. You know what I mean? Dance for an hour and 15 minutes, then take a 10-minute break. And it's almost midnight. You've been in place since 6:30. Yeah, you want to go home. You're in a tuxedo, for crying out loud. Lord almighty. Hey, gang, I want to tell you about something. You know that for the last 6 years, I've been talking about the artist development program that I'm involved with the Austin Music Foundation. I'm actually a mentor in the program. And this year, we have just finished our 6th year. The ADP6 class of 2023 is pretty much wrapped up. All the songs are recorded. And if you want to find out more about it, you can go to austinmusicfoundation.org. Check it out. There's lots of stuff. If you're a musician here in Austin in the music business, there's so much stuff available. So many resources there. They have all kinds of panels. They have all kinds of mixers. You can sign up for a free consultation. Usually you'll be talking to my friend Einar, who's also one of the mentors in the artist development program. But we just finished year 6. A bunch of great artists. Grace Sorensen, The Dead Coats, S.L. Hauser, Poet Hawkins, Jake Lloyd. Such a great, great time. And now El Combo Oscuro, who was also in the program, is here on the show. That's right, man. John Dell and Mauro Lopez from El Combo Oscuro are on the show because they are releasing their song Despegue that they recorded with Austin Music Foundation's Artist Development Program over at the Bubble with Frenchie Smith and Einar Pedersen. I was there hanging out. I got to watch them play. I got to hear them record in real life and hear them record this great song and another amazing song that you'll hear in a couple of months. Unbelievable band. If you don't know El Combo Oscuro, they are a psychedelic cumbia band from here in Austin. They've actually been on the show before. And John Dell from the band always brings me this great Cuban sandwich from this place on Burnett. That's name is escaping me again. Good Lord. Anyway, I ate that sandwich. It was great. Me and him and Mauro sat outside and had some good sandwiches. We sat down and had a really great conversation about how they came together during COVID, started practicing outside, and really kind of took off. A lot of it is like, like when you start a band, you don't know. Like sometimes it takes a year and a half before people start catching on. But sometimes you start a band and it just goes. Like it has an organic flow to it and an organic magnetism to it that brings people to it. And that's what El Combo Oscuro has been experiencing for the last 2 years. Anyway, they are a well-oiled machine as well. They spent last year doing a residency over at Hotel Vegas. They've been playing a ton of shows. They will be playing at Austin Psych Fest 2023 on Sunday, April 30th. On Friday, May 5th, they'll be at Hotel Vegas in Austin. Friday, April 25th, if you live in Dallas, they'll be at Art Mission Oak Cliff in Dallas. You can find them at elcombooscuro.com. This single, Despegue, drops Thursday, 420, baby. That's right, man. Psychedelic Cumbia, new single. Also, we just found out their song is going to be Song of the Day on KUTX. Thank you, KUTX, for supporting Austin Music Foundation and our artist development program and all of the artists therein. Anyway, it's been a great year working with all these artists, and El Combo Oscuro was a really fun band to work with. They really took advantage of all the things that were offered to them during the artist development program, and they've stayed great friends. So I had a really great time sitting down with Mauro and with John, and we have a fantastic conversation about how the band came together, how the band has stayed together, how the band has developed, and their experience in Austin Music Foundation's artist development program, and their new single, Despegue, that drops this Thursday, April 20th. So without further ado, John Dell, Mauro Lopez, and me chatting it up. Let's get down. They're all like rich old people. They don't. Do you guys play private parties? A lot of private stuff?
I mean, we have.
Do you think that maybe like is psychedelic something that like turns off a corporate? You know what I mean? Is that you
I think so. The times that we played stuff. Oh yeah? Yeah.
The times that you played corporate parties.
Yeah, I mean, I think our music's like danceable and stuff, so it works.
Totally.
It works to an extent.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know if we're a little bit more niche than that. So we played some of those that aren't. They're fun. They're really fun. But we're kind of like the background music.
Yeah.
And so
I don't mind that.
Or if it's a wedding, and the people really, they saw us at a club and they kind of want that. They want that, then that's kind of. But you know how weddings go. Like we played one in the daytime and we were pretty much background music.
Yeah.
But the couple was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the couple like even tipped us pretty well after paying us, which was pretty cool. So if there's any indicator of like, hey, was it enjoyed? That was it. So it's pretty cool.
Right. We've had the thing twice in the last month where we have a massive public show with people that have paid money to see us, and they are excited and freaking out.
That's awesome.
And the next night, we play something where it's just like they didn't buy tickets. They went to a party, and there happens to be a band over there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I mean, they're killing it, but
Yeah.
like I'm talking to Jeannie from accounting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
all of the dice.
It's kind of the when you have a career in show business, it's everything's so weird. Like every day and every event can be completely different than the last, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Everything about it. Money wise, crowd wise, energy wise.
Yeah. I try not to let
People-wise.
it weird me out. I'm prepared for the weirdness. But you never know.
I've seen you guys in some good situations.
Yeah, I mean, for the most
I mean,
part.
you guys are just a band that's only what, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years would have been this month, I think.
Okay, so you're 2 years old.
Yeah, April 2021 was our first official show. So yeah, we're 2 years old.
I mean, you guys, you know how like when you start some bands, they just don't go?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? You're playing for like 5 years and like finally 15 people show up.
Yeah.
But then you just get in a band and like all of a sudden you're like, woo, what's going on?
Yeah, it kind of started like that.
It has that energy too. Like when you see you guys, when you're around you guys, I have the amazing fortune to have been there while you were recording these new singles.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was super fun. That was a really nice studio too, a really nice room, and
The Bubble.
yeah,
The great Frenchie Smith. So
Yeah.
you guys were part of the artist development program for Austin Music Foundation.
Yes.
And you guys, I will say, really got a lot out of it. I don't think I even have to ask you if you did. You did. You've taken You've taken advantage of the resources that we have for you, fully.
for sure.
Yeah.
Even down to that, like the South by gig was really cool because there's other people on the roster. Like we had met
That was cool.
the Dead Coats a few times because we went to like a party that they had outside of the Moody.
Yeah.
So we met them. We also played with them down at Hotel Vegas, and we met them. I know that they were kind of coming off the best punk band of the year, so it was cool to meet them. But there were some other artists on the roster that like I had, I just like listened to and I never met. But Jake Lloyd being one of them,
fucking
and
great,
we were
right?
able to play. I was able to meet them. They played right before us at South by, so I met him and the whole group, and I was like, oh man, I love you guys, and it was really cool. So that the whole networking part of it, even though like that, punk or like R&B hip hop isn't exactly where we are. It's always cool just meeting people who are also doing it and in the grind. So,
But you have to admit that like the culture of sort of how music is presented now is mostly in this festival vibe. Like that's the biggest thing that music has had going for it for the last decade.
Yeah,
is
for sure.
Festivals. And that I mean, you'll get, a band like you guys and, Megadeth is the headliner one night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, I think that's cool.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
the walls have gone down.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we're fortunate, in that regard because, there's been times where we've played like out of town or even in town, and it's mainly like Latin bands that sound the same or not sound the same, but we're all kind of within the same realm
Family.
Same realm of kind of tone and sound. But then we've played other things where we're kind of like possibly even the outlier, and we get a good response. And I think it's that. It's people want to see one thing, and then we go on and it's another thing, and then the next band goes on and it's another thing, and people are just there to have a good time. It's kind of like a variety show. And so yeah, that's been pretty cool. So, and the AMF South by Southwest show was very much that. It was like we were able to play with like two bands that are very different in terms of like their genre, but everybody was there just having a good time. So
Yeah, and I mean the guy that played before you guys got there is a guy with a guitar and another dude with a saxophone.
yeah, Poet, man.
Dudes.
Yeah.
I played bass with Poet.
Yeah, it was
Oh, you
awesome.
did?
for one gig. Yeah.
Where?
We played at what's that place called? Soho House.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had actually met him because I saw him on the roster, and I met him at an AMF party, and I told him, hey, if you ever want to expand, a band, I could, if you ever need any other instruments, I could kind of like dabble even on bass. And he took me up on it. He's like, hey man, I need a bass player. I was like, all right, well, let's do it. It's cool.
He's another guy in the program this year that really like took advantage, and not in a bad way take advantage, but like you're offered this stuff for a while. So why not be like, hey, you want to do this?
Yeah,
and that's awesome that you did that. That Mauro is what we hope for in this program, is that there's some sort of sense of collaboration, because what Alex Vallejo and me and Einar all came up in was like a community. And ever since the invention of like Facebook and all that kind of stuff and social media, people have their own little worlds and don't really collaborate like in person, like, hey, I'll go play bass with, like, you know.
Yeah. It's kind of like silos can exist in the scene.
Right.
And so.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting, sort of like working with all those artists. Everyone's needs are completely different. Like with Poet, I played a bunch of stuff on there. Einar played on there. Frenchie played on there.
Nice.
I think I co-wrote at least one of the songs I co-wrote with him. But like you guys came in ready to go. Like you guys have been recording now. I mean, you guys started out 2 years ago and have been like recording, playing shows. And then ever since everything opened up, you guys had your weekly show. Am I just telling you what you do? Is this like the worst interview of all time?
It's a good rundown. We kind of forgetting some.
But then all of a sudden, like you have this, you had like the cumbia night at Hotel Vegas, and that was going off. And now you're going to start releasing these singles. Like what's on the horizon next? I know that Sevilla's moving away.
Oh yeah.
You have another. I know that's a loss.
Well, Sevilla del Mazo, our conga player, she's retiring actually and moving to Tennessee, so we hate to see her go. But I mean, such is life. It's, and like I told her, this is just my point of view, but I don't think that in the history of Austin, at least in the last 20 some years I've been here, I've never seen such a large Latin music community.
No, I never have either.
There's so many now.
I never have either.
And it wasn't that way before.
No.
There was only Sevilla or something, a couple of conga players. But now there's like so many great musicians just out there killing it.
Yeah,
so.
And it seems like Austin. You know how like cities have like hip hop sounds, and I've talked to a bunch of hip hop guys from here, and it's weird to say, but maybe Austin hip hop hasn't broken because its sound hasn't solidified yet. It hasn't congealed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like Houston had a sound, all the LA, Atlanta, whatever, New Orleans, they all have these specific sort of sounds. And to me, Austin, the Latin music scene has really got it's got all the different kinds. There's the mariachis, there's all the different things, sambas, all the things. But the main sound that has congealed, I think, over the last decade is a band based in cumbia, with a rad guitar player who will use fuzz tones and fucking organ.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's a lot of the sound of what a lot of the bands here have.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like it's an actual scene. Every band has their own different thing,
Yeah.
For a while, I was saying like equating them to classic rock bands.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're the Boston of the psychedelic cumbia thing.
Yeah.
The band, they're not really psychedelic cumbia, but like Neme Gata to me is like the Rush.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
With all the weird
sure.
time
Yeah, they take it here and they take it there, and they're like a 3-piece powerhouse. So really cool. But yeah, I think the just generally like as like you're mentioning just like what the kind of sound in terms of like the Latin bands. Pretty much every Latin band that I've seen. I mean, there's the obvious bands like Money Chicha. Obviously, they're doing chicha music, which is psychedelic. The nature of it is psychedelic. But even like the Fantasma stuff has like some psychedelic stuff.
Yeah.
But then there's like some other bands like Mala Nota, for example, and they're kind of like up and coming. But they,
I don't even know those guys.
they're really cool. They have like a horn section, but they also do kind of like it's not straightforward. It almost dives into some like rock, go bordello kind of stuff.
Wow.
And then they also do like some cumbia stuff. It's cool, yeah. And then they do that cover, El Matador. Yeah, and then so obviously like Nemegata and stuff. So I think Austin inherently kind of has this like love for psych, and it's infused in a lot of different genres. And so yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of
That's what it is.
Been cooked into our sound too. Yeah.
Psych has always been like since the 13th floor elevators. Like even
For
those
sure.
weird
Yeah.
country guys in the
Yeah.
70s,
Yeah.
like they were fucking
Psych Fest.
psychedelic.
Yeah, bringing out a fuzz pedal.
You guys are
and stuff.
playing Psych Fest.
Yeah, they got a whole Latin. Sunday is all Latin, right? Yeah, I think so. So it's
Yeah,
like
most
all
of it.
Latin
Most
bands.
of it on Sunday. We're playing April 29th, right? Is that date correct? I don't know. It's the Sunday.
Let's see.
I'm getting just the dates confused because it starts on a Friday and
Oh, wait, I've got it written down, dude. Sunday, April 30th.
April 30th.
Psych Fest Austin.
is when we're playing. But yeah, most of that lineup that day / night is going to be Latin oriented. So it's really cool. Google, who during the pandemic I learned about his music because I'm from South Texas, from the Rio Grande Valley, and he was playing a show down there at this festival that I know the people who promote it. And when I saw his name at first, I was like, who is this, guy, Google? And, like I listened to his stuff and it's super dreamy. And it sounds like this pop, dreamy Latin psychedelic thing. And he was huge back in the day. I mean, it was a huge name to bring down to South Texas. And so when I saw him on the lineup, I was like, oh man, that's cool. We're actually going to be playing on a bill with him. So that's pretty cool. And Los Bichos too, Los Bichos, they're also really killer. And Nemegata is obviously going to be there. So yeah, but mainly Latin music. So
That's awesome.
yeah, for sure.
What's that new band that has like Nemegata guys and
Got 'em
John
Metal Haze.
Speece? Yeah.
Yeah, they're also great. I mean, like doing Latin stuff. I mean, they kind of like go all over the place, but definitely
those-
psych overtones.
Those guys like Leche House and Adrian Studio, whose name is escaping me right now.
Electric Deluxe.
Electric Deluxe. Everything goes through there at some point
Yeah,
in the Latin music scene here.
for sure. Yeah, I think
Somebody's getting a call,
when oh, is that me?
maybe.
When John and I first when John hit me up, because we had met kind of on Craigslist. You had hit me up and you're like, oh yeah, man, like let's jam.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit, and that's when we actually got together as El Combo Oscuro. But the first stop, like, as soon as we had like, one or two songs that sounded polished, he's like, all right, we got to take this to Leche House. And we did, like, it was within one of the first few months. So you're right. It's like one of the first stops is one of those two studios, because those guys both kind of speak that language and they kind of know, how to bring out some of that psych Latin sound to it. So
Right. They're all fucking great engineers.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one thing they all
Yeah,
do have
that's
in
true.
common. And they all kind of draw out, I think, as producers. Because, like, Adrian did that. Did you hear that record that he did for The Sword?
no, I don't think I've
Metal
heard it.
band?
No, that's
Fucking-
cool.
It's fucking great. But you wouldn't listen to it and go, oh, it's Adrian did this.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
Mean?
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
He wouldn't even cross your mind. But,
Yeah, yeah,
but what he did, I feel like what he does is bring out the honesty in the artist. Like I think Frenchie does too. Like the
Yeah.
authenticity
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
of the artist.
Yeah.
And who that person is, and just like let's magnify that.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
The bubble was quite the experience. Johnny's talking about the AMF sponsored when Combo Oscuro went in, and it was Johnny, Alex, Einar Pedersen,
Frenchie.
and Frenchie from the bubble.
Frenchie Smith.
Frenchie Smith.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing was quite the experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is too is I mean, you guys, right? You guys are just really good. You know what I mean? Like, you have your shit together, and you can tell you spent a couple years where you started playing, because when you guys first started playing together, you started gathering in public areas and parks because it was pandemic time. You had to
Yeah,
do shit
yeah.
outside. Last year.
That's right.
Like a year ago, me and Rosie went.
That's right.
So you did one at the airplane hangar, and then there was some weird tension. There was another band that showed up to do their thing.
Oh, that's
and there
right.
was
That's
like
right. That's right. There was
it was like a standoff, a rehearsal.
Yeah, there was like a brass band that would practice at the same time that we would, but they were completely, unplugged. So they were, if any of them are listen to this, they were super sweet, and they're like, no, you guys could take this. We can kind of go anywhere. And they just walked to another, area of the park and did their thing. So it was super kind of them because, but that was our spot.
I was just thinking about the samba band where the same thing happened.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we show up and there's like a
Austin Samba was
literally
there.
a 100-piece samba band.
Yeah.
So we thought
Dancers.
we thought we could go maybe 100 feet away and do a rehearsal while they did theirs. And don't even try to compete
50
with a samba
drummers.
band,
I mean,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
How
for
do you
sure.
do that? Like, if you live in Austin, what we're talking about is those airplane or those hangars.
It was a
that are
Mueller
at
airplane
Mueller.
hangar, yeah.
Mueller airplane hangars right next to the food trucks, right there with the fountain and whatever. If you go there,
Well, I don't know if I want to get into if we should get into too much detail of how we pull it off, but
I mean, is it
it's
underground?
doable.
You just show up. It's like Renegade.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
Renegade, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All right.
We haven't
So
done
it's-
it. We
and listen,
haven't done it in a while.
You're right, Mauro. Those guys might have been really nice. What happened was they showed up. I could tell there was like a little bit of like, what, man, those guys, what? And those guys are showing up, going up to the
Yeah.
other guys, walking up to
Yeah.
their instruments. There's another band in here,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I walked away with Rosie while the talk happened. So in
Yeah.
my mind, it was super dramatic. It was
Yeah.
like, fuck you, dude.
It was
you come
like
back at 9.
It was like
You
Beat
know.
It, Michael Jackson video, and some Switchblades came out.
Dance
and,
off.
There's a dance off, and we won. It's no, but yeah, I mean, it was always real interesting practicing there because like there were sometimes there were other bands, but a lot of different groups would meet up there, and there was like people who would practice like jousting or stuff like that, and they would be like in armor. And as we would play, just on the corner of my eye, I mean, these guys who were, playing swords, sword fight. I mean, I could see them kind of like grooving on it. I was like, okay, well, this is kind of cool. Sometimes people would just walk up and just, chill there and listen to a few songs. So
Were they like
that was kind of cool.
official SCA guys? Society for Creative Anachronisms, and those guys are the guys that go out there and sword fight. They pretend it's
possibly.
like 1612 or something.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, they had like they were like fully suited and stuff. So it's possibly them.
Yeah. In the 90s, my ex-wife and I moved into Hyde Park right next to that Elizabeth Ney Museum Park, and they used to go there. It was my favorite thing to watch.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's hilarious.
It's like something
Like Renaissance
uniquely
Festival.
Austin.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
there's a Latin psychedelic cumbia band playing on one side of the hangar, and then people having sword fights on the other side of the hangar, and then there's what do you call that hardcore workout? Like people doing P90X or some crazy workout like on the other side. Like it was. It's just like a melting pot.
And
for all
for sure,
sorts of
some dude
culture
like with
there,
his
so.
dog, like smoking weed behind a tree, walking behind the like a
For sure,
Birkenstocks
yeah.
Austin dude.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
the dancers, it's a good litmus test too when people just kind of happen to stumble upon the
Yeah.
band playing,
Yeah.
and then they try out some dance moves, and they're
Families too.
That
Families
works.
would go, and there'd be kids dancing and
yeah.
mom and pop dancing. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Despegue a little bit. Talk to me about the song. Like, how did you guys come up with that jam? I'm going to play it on here so people will be able to hear it. It will
That's
be
Mauro right
debuting.
there. I think.
Yeah. So that song, I'm trying to think how it starts. So it might have been like. So the way that like we kind of approach songwriting is like one of us will demo something out. Usually it's John or it's myself. We'll just cut a rough demo to kind of get the structure. And with that particular song, I think I was like listening to like Dick Dale or something, like that sort of Dick Dale sort of surfy weird guitar.
Telecaster.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
ding, 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 and so like I played that, and I just kind of ripped a cumbia beat like under it for the first demo, just as I guess a proof of concept, and then I sent it to the group, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this sounds pretty cool," and it kind of sounds like a spaghetti western, and I was like, "Okay, well it sounds cool. Let me go demo the rest of it out." And again, that's really just like the structure of the song. Let's this is like the A section, the B section, and let's see where it goes from there. And so what ended up happening with the song is, we when it went to the band, everybody kind of puts their own spin on it. We do the A, B, And then we're like, okay, well, what do we do after that? We can't repeat it, like forever. So then we did that long drawn out bridge, and we're like, okay, well, let's get spacey with it.
I like the spacey part.
Yeah, and then John had, something that was just kind of like a chant, and, so him and I kind of chanted out. But I think just the writing of it, my first thought, we've gone to Marfa a few times, and we've played like Viva Big Ben Fest, and when we recorded our first EP, we released it the first time we played at Viva Big Ben, and I went with a few friends, and like I remember listening to the EP. It had been published on Spotify that day, and we were like, how Marfa is. I mean, it's like desolate Texas desert. And I was like, man, our music kind of like sounds kind of cool, like just looking at all this like desert and cactus and stuff. Yeah. So I wanted to lean a little bit harder on this particular song. And so, that was the original idea. And then obviously you take it to the guys, and all these other ideas are kind of thrown. It's like, peppered on there, and then it kind of turns into another thing. So that was kind of the genesis of the song and kind of where it went. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And going in the bubble, that was, then it really came to life.
Yeah, with all the details of like, hearing all the instruments and stuff, so.
Yeah, the final arrangement, the kind of adding the final
Einar put some arrangement work into it. Am I wrong? I remember some emails.
Yeah, there was some
one,
arrangement.
Right?
Yeah, to kind of bring like like some vocals.
Well, because to kind of keep the chant going on. Yeah,
for sure.
And make that be the hook.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of pushing that closer to the front of the song, and then also just kind of bringing out some really cool guitar tones, like just to kind of like lay over the song to help build a sonic atmosphere. So there was a lot of stuff like that during that song. And
what's that?
Einar brought the fuzz out.
Yeah, for sure. So it was a lot of cool stuff.
He brought out the fuzz.
Yeah,
the fuzz, man.
Talk about Peter a little bit, the bass player.
He's quite the guy. He's Peter Fuller.
He's from New Orleans.
He is through and through from New Orleans. Yeah, he did the whole Bourbon Street band. That's where he paid his dues.
Oh, 10,000 hours.
Yeah, I mean, from what I gather and from what I hear, it's there. You show up early, you sound check, and you're there playing all night. You can do 5, 6, 7, 8 hours straight with breaks. Plus load in, plus load out. So that's quite the, how that goes. You play for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a night.
I've never done that. I mean, I've done like 4 sets. I did Cedar Street, like when Skyrocket started playing, Cedar Street shit was like from fucking 9 until
like 2 a.m. Close the place
until
down.
Like 1:40 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they pushed the shifts, I think, as long as humanly possible. Or something. I don't know the exact hours, but they play a long time. So, and learn a bunch of new. So he's got that very distinct New Orleans style. You know.
He's got a really good ear, and I mean he nerds out about bass tone and stuff. So that's really cool too. He's also one of those types of guys who's like, all right, I got to stop buying new gear, and then like he'll show up with like something new, and he's like, yeah, I had to get it. I saw it, and I offloaded this other thing. So he's constantly upgrading. But I don't think John, you didn't know him prior to he was kind of like an online find, right? Like looking for a bass player.
Yeah, when all of us, right around the time you and I kind of started, because Mauro and I, we met prior to that too, and we've a couple of different things we worked on, but Combo Oscuro, right, when we finally got down to it, okay, this is what we're going to do, that's when, we reached out to Peter, and, if there's changes along the line a little bit, started gaining a sense of identity quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Rather quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it has, like, I mean, it's formed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no one really had to explain to you guys how to be you in any way. You know what I mean? Because
it's pretty intentional music. I mean, it's definitely throwback to, at least my perception of it, to 70s radio, lo-fi, The Border, Monterrey, Laredo, McAllen, Mauro.
That's the shit I like so much. Yeah.
That's just kind of stuff we grew up on the radio. Rigo Tobar, Bookies, Selena, just all the classic stuff. And
I don't know what Bookies is. I always thought you were just pronouncing Buc-ee's.
Bukis.
Marco Antonio Solis.
Yep. Those bookies.
But back to like Peter and like when he first started, like because he said that there's like some like salsa bands in New Orleans, so he had a sense of general sense of the music. But like him and even Gabe Ceballos, who's on drums, like this is like their first time actually playing the music. Right. And so the way that we would kind of like describe it when we were like woodshedding songs was, there's certain conventions that need to happen to lock in,
right,
to make the music at least cumbia or salsa or something.
Yep.
So let's just all learn that as a group to lock in, and then once we kind of learn that, which we did, then we could start playing around with, okay, where do we have room to kind of experiment? And he's been really good with doing that. He kind of learned the sort of conventions of it, and then now when he writes a bass line, like you could hear, especially on recordings, you could hear where he's kind of bringing in some other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's super cool. So
his pocket, he's not like slapping and popping or doing anything weird like that, but his pocket is like total funk.
It is.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of cool. It gives you guys this kind of neat edge on the low end that a lot of bands don't have, like a sort of signature bass feel.
Yeah.
Is that weird to say? Because since the
it's,
first time I heard him play with you guys, I was just like, oh yeah, this is like,
that's an accurate statement.
This is kind of cool.
Yeah, most of your cumbia bands, they'll stick to the formula, and they rarely deviate from that formula.
And it doesn't lay like the accent, like there isn't that much of a space between the one and the two. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As much as there is in like funk.
Yeah. But there's a way to kind of just like with most music, to kind of bring in a different influence, and what you get is
great.
A new take on the music, while, like Mauro said, sticking to the fundamentals and the traditions of where it comes from.
That's a cool thing too, to be able to because it's not like like a guy like Gary Clark Jr. who's doing that same thing but in a different style of music.
Yeah.
He gets in trouble all the time from people because
really?
he colors outside the lines. But it seems like in this world, it's like you're encouraged to like, okay, here's the structure, now fucking knock it down.
Well, unfortunately, cumbia has that advantage. So that's more, I think, a little bit more so than some. Okay, cumbia, it's initially from Africa, South, Colombia, up. But one thing that is pretty obvious is that it's constantly evolving and changing. So what you hear this year, next year, maybe
different.
Something.
It's
going electronic. It's going to drums. It's going to bands with electric guitars and fuzz. It's going to keys, psych keys. And next thing you know, it'll be going to, I don't know, it could go anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not as limiting, and that's kind of what makes it appealing for me personally, is you can express yourself and just fucking have fun with it.
That's the thing that I've found, like even like over the last couple of years, a band that I kind of saw for years now, pre-pandemic and then post-pandemic, is like Como Las Movies has sort of found their voice.
For sure.
Like, yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. Like, it's really interesting to see that and be like, wow, shit, you guys, you found it.
Yeah, they found it. And then, coming out of, I think even like, I might have seen them post-pandemic once, or maybe they were inactive. I forget. But it was like, out of nowhere, they just like came back, and, they were playing all these cool shows, and like all the videos that they were posting, like recordings of, just sounded like incredible. And they were playing ACL, and then they played Free Week, and it just kind of looks cool. Everybody's kind of into it. So that was like really cool, because I had seen them a bunch prior to pandemic, and it was great, but I think the lineup was completely different. Like it was a little bit more like the vocalist was different, and it was good, but it was definitely different. So they like shifted, and within the same name, Como Las Movies, it was cool to see like almost like a rebrand of it, and a reimagination of it. It was cool. Yeah, for sure.
And it seems like also what's happened, like in the post-pandemic, like people coming out of the pandemic, like some people are like a guy like Bob Schneider, his take on this thing was like, I'm not going to go on a bus for a month anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. It costs a lot of money and it's a drag and just fucking people all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly out and play shows that I do this whole tour to get to this one show that pays like, you know, 50 grand or whatever,
Yeah.
some kind of thing like that. And so, but some people came out and like really were like, I'm going to do this with more purpose now. And I feel like the Como Las movies definitely came out like,
Yeah.
El Combo Oscuro being a product of the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, there was
it's definitely a product of the pandemic.
Very much intentional.
There's a lot of purpose to you guys. So maybe that's why you got your shit together so fast, is because you were like, all right, I know how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of time when everything stopped, I think everybody had at least a few solid months to not do anything and just think about their next step and, you know, plan things out accordingly instead of trying to plan it as things are going and going and going.
Right.
So, yeah.
Those first couple of months were weird. Now I
Super
look back
weird.
on them and I was like this real, like, very stressful vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was laid around, watched TV, you know, walked around, you know, I just did whatever I kind of wanted to that didn't involve other people. And I was fucking freaking out the whole time.
Yeah, for sure. It was super weird. I mean, even going to the grocery, I mean, even just like getting gas, like, well, what can I touch and what can I not touch and how close I mean, it was just super weird. Luckily, my day job had moved to working from home. So I had like a 2.5 hour commute every day. 'Cause I was like living up north, living down south. So because I was working from home, luckily for me, if there's any silver lining in it, was like I had like an extra 2 hours a day. Well, A, probably to exercise, but B, to just like record stuff. I got like, you know, some new mics. I fixed up my drum set.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh man, let me just like set all this in the garage. I'm going nowhere anytime soon. So
It took me until summer to start working on music. I
Yeah.
mean, I did a shitload of podcasts. I did like 100 in like 5 or 6 months.
all remote.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was putting out, there were some weeks where I put out 5 shows a week.
Dang.
I was just like, fuck it. I mean, and the
Yeah.
thing is, like, it wasn't like people weren't listening to it. It was
Yeah.
like my numbers were growing.
Yeah, for sure.
Even per episode, where I was like, well, shit. I mean,
Yeah. And everybody had stories.
plus I had
coming
shit to
from
talk.
that.
I had fucking people to talk to.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And a lot of people had stuff to talk about. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just like it impacted everybody in like completely different ways. And yeah, so
Yeah. Did you guys ever do any live streams? Did you guys ever like live stream from the park at the
we
beginning?
didn't.
No, not officially, I don't think, but we were busy with, you know, whatever we could do,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, which was we consistently got together. That's one thing.
No,
I do
yeah.
remember is-
From the first time you came on as El Combo Oscuro, that was the fascinating thing.
Yeah, even if it was like, okay, everyone arrive in a parking lot and walk up and stay 20 feet, whatever, away from each other. Don't
Yeah.
even go near each other with
Yeah.
a mask. But we figured out a way to pretty much get together and keep the ball rolling, work
Yeah.
on ideas, and they kind of started falling into place.
Yeah, you asked if we had ever streamed from that hangar. We haven't, but I think like
That would sound like shit, though.
Well, Peter had mentioned it earlier because you also asked like about, you know, what's on the horizon. One of the things
A
that
live
we
stream from the hangar.
well, I mean, we're thinking like, okay, well, we got to like put more media out because right now we're kind of working show to show, release to release, but we don't really have any like bigger picture. Like we have a music video that we did, which you
For
know, it was for one of our songs, Que Sonido
Oh, it's already
Tan
out.
Rico. Yeah, it's already out.
Yeah.
We did it just kind of as like a passive video to have something on there, but I mean, it's just kind of sitting out there, and you know, I check it every once in a while, and you know, it's up a couple of hundred plays. Because anytime our name's on a flyer or whatever, you know, that's where people look on. They want to see what we sound like and
Yeah.
what we look like. But Peter had mentioned kind of like a hangar idea, and we're like, well, I don't know, would that even sound good, or how do you do that? Because, or what if we get
What if
shut
another
down?
band shows up?
Well, for me, I'm like, what if we get shut down and we have people that we're paying like to run cameras, and then another band shows up,
Yeah.
or you know,
We can
we
figure
get
it out.
we get we get kicked out or something, but. it definitely is part of our story. We were just playing in the park.
Yeah, take it back to the roots.
Yeah.
You know, right where it started.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be the story.
I wonder about stuff like that. Like, are you guys, I mean, it seems like you guys always have like content, but I think it's just because you're fucking playing all the time. It's like, hey, like in your shows, like the videos that you post, everyone's, you know, the party's going on. And I'm cognizant of that because I'm kind of like the guy that tries to do that during Skyrocket shows. Like the moment where I'm not doing anything and like everyone's, you know, at their most excited. Because you want to be at that party when you see that on social media.
Yeah,
or feel bad that you missed it. You're not going to miss the next one.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we do is start parties.
One of the things that we always try to mention, like when we play live, is like, hey, if you get videos of us, like just
tag us,
because that's like that content
it's
is
gold.
created for
it's
you.
Fucking gold,
I do
dude.
see a big difference,
and they'll send us
when it's not you posting it.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Where it's not like you going like, I'm cool,
or it's not me taking a selfie, you know, in front of my keyboard, like, hey, I play keyboards, and you know, it's like somebody else, like, you know, there's a people dancing and we're on stage. It
means the world.
It feels, you know, like a little bit more enticing.
And everybody's using their fucking cameras there anyway. So
for sure.
Tag us in and post it. I will have talked about this in the intro, so we wouldn't have been talking for like 45 minutes just about whatever and not really talking about the fact that Despegue comes out on this Thursday, April 20th. Good day for music, dude.
Take off.
Strategic?
And that's
Question mark?
Despegue actually means lift off.
Lift off.
Tea time, you know.
Thought it was like disconnect. No?
Well,
kind of like a take off.
Unstuck.
It could be
Stuck too.
Yeah, it could. There's no direct translation, but the closest thing that if you look up like 5 times, 3 out of 5 is going to be lift off.
How's your Spanish? Like, what level are you at?
Spanish?
Yeah, 1 to 5.
5.
Coño.
Yeah. Sí, es igual. Inglés, español, no acento. I was just the right place at the right time. You know, Mauro's from the border. Everybody's bilingual there. It was you, Cuban-American, you know, American-Cuban.
That's the other thing that bums me out about Sevilla leaving is you're like, God, man, we got...
Yeah, for sure.
You know they have this guy on Saturday Night Live now? There's a Cuban guy?
No.
There's a new guy. He's Cuban. But he does like some of the shit he does, like so specifically Cuban, like it's never been done on Saturday Night Live. And it's like what you think of, like, you know how Asians and black people and all kinds of people of color talk about how they never saw themselves on television. I'm like, well, dude, there's Ricky Ricardo and that's it, dude. Until Scarface.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Unless you had PBS and watched Que Pasa USA, which that was about a family that had moved from Cuba that was exactly life.
Yeah.
But that nobody watched that show. But to have a guy like on Saturday Night Live, like I've gotten texts from family members like, have you seen this? I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah.
But like every Sunday they're like, oh, he did a thing last night and he did the accent and he was so good. And
nice. Yeah. That's cool. I got to look that up. My fiance's dad is from Cuba.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Is he texting you? Does he like you? Does he have a problem with?
Yeah, I think
okay.
I think he like, does he like me as a person?
Well, no, you know
like
how
for
like
his daughter? Yeah,
Latin dads can be tough.
No, he's super cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we click, and he's an amazing guy, and cool.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're listening, you're cool.
You're cool. Oh yeah.
Mauro approves.
Hey Johnny, man, can you edit from
Mauro approves of his sweater.
Okay, so this song drops on Thursday, April 20th, when people will be enjoying the day on a psychedelic way, very mellow psychedelic way. But there's an AMF live stream at 9 a.m.
There's an AMF
what does that
live
mean?
stream. I think you got
It's
that
on
on our website calendar, right?
Is that bad? Yeah, that's how I do my research.
So John, he on our website it says AMF live stream of the song.
Is that a thing?
I think that the live stream was one of those bots that comes up with a word I think it was like
Oh,
bands
AI?
in town and stuff. Yeah, AI.
Oh, don't get
But it's
involved with that,
basically-
man.
It's the release. It's the release. Yeah, there's no live stream.
Okay, no live stream. All right,
The live stream is a
I
lie.
gotta scratch that out. Well, luckily I'm doing that intro in a minute, so who cares?
But we do have some other stuff going on that day, right? That I don't know if we could talk about yet because you told me on the way in.
What do you mean?
Well, KUTX.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
That it's going to be
KUTX is playing the tune.
Song of the
There you
day.
go.
Song of
So
the
that's
day.
that's going to be also pretty
Congratulations.
cool. The April 20th song of the day is El Combo Oscuro. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. The whole thing's exciting, man. Just have the whole, all. It's been a great experience.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a relationship with the Sun Radio Cats?
I've seen them at Gueros.
Yeah.
The show they've doing. I've been like catching them off and on for years. But
Me
I
too.
don't know anybody over there.
I need to help out with that
Yeah.
because I'm wondering why they're not involved, and then maybe maybe that was supposed to be my responsibility. Edit out 4138. No, I'll make sure that they do something. You guys should be doing one of those.
Yeah.
They need it. They need it's a lot of singer songwriter guys there sometimes.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
those people dancing. What's going on? You guys are doing a Cinco de Mayo at Hotel Vegas. You're doing Psych Fest April 30th. You're playing in Dallas at Art Mission Oak Cliff on Friday, April 28th.
Yeah,
What is
that's-
that? Is that a what is
Man,
that?
that venue's amazing. It's a guy that we work with called Victor. He's from Chosky's group, and they put on events in Dallas. Really, he curates the bands and the events and does a real nice production. And
Cool.
super nice guy too. So
What do you guys have planned for the summer? Because the summer, there's going to be another single drop, right?
there is another. We did two with
Yeah.
AMF with yourself and Einar and Johnny and Frenchie.
Frenchie.
At the Bubble, and so we did two. So we have another one we're going to release, and then Mauro. If you want to chime in, we got some stuff in the works.
Well,
We
yeah.
got
So I
album
mean,
work.
probably after summer, but for sure in the summer we'll have the second release that we did at the Bubble. That sounds really big and incredible, and like it matches a production of
Love that song.
of our release this week. But
super excited about. I don't mean to interrupt, but dude, I'm so freaking excited about releasing that song.
yeah, for
I love
sure,
that
for
song
sure.
a
It's
lot.
one of our.
Yeah.
It's one of our we get a good reaction when we play that live. It's called Solitera. If you're listening, and obviously it's not available online yet, but it's people like it. It's a cha cha cha, and it kind of breaks up our predominantly cumbia set. So we're excited to release that. In terms of shows, we have some sort of some dates booked in, but I don't know if those can be announced yet. But we have some pretty cool stuff happening in the summer, in town and possibly out of town as well. And so that should be cool. But right now we're just trying to, from a strategic standpoint, like show wise, we're trying just to promote the most recent thing, especially because, some of these are really big. So like, obviously Austin, Psych Fest is really incredible, and we're super excited about that. And then,
420 song of the day.
yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Oh, but we're also at the end of the year, we have about 6 or 7 songs that are that we're working on, and it's like a DIY production. So we're recording those. And,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, towards the end of the year, the plan is to release those as another sort of larger release of music. And so far we've recorded some of the stuff, and it's sounding just incredible. And we've written some new songs since we saw you at the Bubble. We've written more songs and stuff, so we're excited to be releasing some new stuff. But that's probably going to be after summer.
I want to drop a name.
Okay.
Austin Cumbia Festival.
When is that?
Oh yeah,
I don't know. There, I said it. It's going to happen.
Oh,
Now-
it's
now
not a
there's
thing
no-
yet. Okay.
now there's
I
no
was like,
backing down.
I'm sure. When is it?
We don't know where. We don't know how, where, when, but it's in the works, and it's
we
going to
got to
happen.
apply for that grant that that's going around for stuff like that.
She's coming
So
in on Erica Shamley is coming in to talk about that.
That's incredible. That's incredible that they're doing that.
Day after tomorrow. To explain
Austin
that to me.
Cumbia Festival. We're gonna make it happen.
Make that happen.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
mountain on that. We'll figure it out.
God, you might even be able to go and partner, like take that idea to South by Southwest.
Well, we actually
Because, like, man, that venue, had it not been so cold, and I left before you guys played. Don't be mad. I left before Jake ended. I was cold.
Oh, yeah,
At
yeah,
South
yeah,
by
yeah.
Southwest. It was just
Sheraton?
cold.
Sheraton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's fault. It was a
Yeah.
great idea, but it just got really cold.
Yeah.
What an odd South by weather
Yeah,
pattern.
it was weird. Anyway, had it been just a normal night, it would have been amazing for me. But that venue, as a venue, would
Yeah.
be like a cool place to have
Oh,
something
for
like
sure.
that.
It's like walk up. Yeah, it's like walk up. I mean, you could hear it from
the street.
yeah, for sure.
It seems like it would be such a vibe to
Yeah,
have
hell yeah.
like a.
Location.
Is it a venue, or was it just a venue?
I
for
thought you
South
would
by?
know. But I mean, I don't know.
It's the backyard of the Sheraton. Yeah, so
It's the backyard of the Sheraton, but it had a name, right? The backyard of the Sheraton.
The
Sheraton
backyard. is
But it
what
also
was.
seemed like it had a bar out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it. They had those benches and stuff. It seemed like it's
Oh yeah,
there.
yeah. Like just maybe like just a
Maybe they
courtyard
put
on
that stage
regularly.
there for
Yeah.
it, but I mean, I
Man, but
thought
that was
it was
incredible, yeah.
fucking cool.
Yeah, plenty of space too.
Plenty of space.
I don't know, like if you remember, even behind the tables, there's kind of like a tiered system there, and there's even like more tables, from the patio, and so yeah, plenty of space there for like a larger event.
I do remember.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was really fun.
It was.
So Austin Cumbia Festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
now,
That's
now
a
that
thing.
you said
It's
it,
out.
you've put it out into the world. So
I'm committed.
you'll manifest it.
I'm excited about this stuff. Do you guys? So you guys don't have like a summer residency somewhere? That's what I think. Why don't you have one of those?
Well,
me
we did one
to go
at
to.
Hotel Vegas.
You did. I know, but why not this
And-
summer?
Well,
We did that in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to see people sweating outside to your music.
Yeah,
Not
for
you
sure.
guys in particular, but the crowd. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
for
Like
sure.
really,
Yeah.
Dancing and
just-
kind of
yeah,
getting into it.
Yeah.
There are some big things that we're going to be playing in the summer that will be, kind of like that vibe. I think initially we had kind of left some dates open to see some other stuff that we played in previous years to see if they hit us up. I don't know if they have yet. But I mean, yeah, from this, like, thinking about like July or something like that, we still, have like an open schedule in August. So, there's still plenty of time to book some of those things and,
Yeah.
see what becomes of those months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get to debut the song, not in its entirety. They'll hear pieces of it, right?
all
Nice.
right.
Okay. All right. I will reach out to the Sun Radio people on your behalf because I might even see Kevin tonight. I have a
For the-
feeling I might see Kevin.
For the events to have
Agueros.
Agueros?
Yeah.
It'd work perfect there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Totally
Yeah.
perfect there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would benefit from that sort of thing, I think.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Anything else that I'm leaving out? People can find you guys at elcombooscuro.com, Cumbia Capital EP, and El Sonido Tan Rico.
Yeah, both available for stream everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You guys got the
Even
Bandcamp,
YouTube.
right?
Yeah, we got Bandcamp up.
We get the Bandcamp.
Bandcamp's awesome, especially those. They do, I think, quarterly that Friday where all the proceeds go directly to the band, and that's that's super awesome.
I don't think
and
it's
helpful.
every Friday, but they have Fridays.
Yeah, I get an email when it's like
Yeah.
a reminder, like, hey, it's Artist Friday, and that's really helpful. So
My social media fills up with, hey man, today's the day. Do it, please. Yeah. That all goes
Give.
in.
Share the love.
Give. Anything? Seriously?
No, just
I love you guys, man.
That's
I
we
do
love you too, Johnny.
I think
Thank you.
you're.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm glad that we
man.
become friends, and I'm glad that we got to go through the ADP program together. I'm glad that you guys got something out of it and are so happy with your experience. That's
Yeah,
a good
for sure,
feeling
for
for
sure.
someone in my position.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
was quite the. I mean, I just couldn't. The one thing that stands out in my mind.
I gotta say you were easy too. Like there's not a lot. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't some weird thing.
but the one thing, like, because we showed up early and typically stay late at a studio, and I think after like 12 hours or even more than that, we were getting kind of loopy.
Yeah.
But you guys did not show the first
I
sign
didn't.
of
Yeah,
wanting to
they
give up.
didn't.
I'm like,
I left.
How long do these guys?
I can't take credit for that marathon shit. Him and Einar, they don't even do cocaine or Adderall or anything. They're like literally
It's straight
just two
adrenaline.
dudes. Like I don't know.
14, 16 hours straight of studio. It's like,
Yeah, that was an incredible opportunity.
You know, we used to do these like all back to back. No days off.
That's kind of rough.
And like Frenchie was the same on the last day as he was on the first day. Like it was just one of those weird things where I would just be like, I didn't even know what song is this? Oh, I thought that was a song from last week. Oh, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Be like, no, you're like, what is wrong with you? Like, what do they make you out of?
He's a beast, man.
They're both beasts like that. Yeah. I'm not lazy. I'm just a fucking human being. Like at first I was always like,
Maybe something's wrong with me.
Yeah, I was like, God, what is wrong with me? Like, I don't want to stay 14 hours until like, and they like thrive on it. Like, that's the thing. Like, oh yeah, we were there until 4 a.m. Yeah. You're like, why? You just go home.
They like to.
They like it. Yeah. No, they're fucking great. And you guys, it was a good combo.
Yeah.
A good Combo Oscuro. Dude, thank you so much for doing the show again. And congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
That's John Dell and Mauro Lopez from El Combo Oscuro. Their single, Despegue, drops this Thursday, April 20th, baby. That's 420. You can find them at elcombooscuro.com. Go see them at Austin Psych Fest 2023 on Sunday, April 30th. Just go to elcombooscuro.com. Get involved with their stuff. I love talking to those guys. Thanks for the sandwich. It was a great time, gang. If you want to find out more about Austin Music Foundation, go to austinmusicfoundation.org. Get involved there. All right? And if you do not subscribe to this show yet, subscribe, bro. Come on. What are you doing? Subscribe. We got so many shows, baby. So many shows. Subscribe. You'll get a new show every Tuesday and every Thursday. Or every Friday. Sorry, every Tuesday and every Friday. This Friday, I'll be talking to Robert Harrison from Austin's Cotton Mather about their classic album, Contiki, as a collaboration with Magnet Magazine's Magnet Classics podcast and their host, Hobart Rowland. This is our first collaboration with another podcast, so you'll want to hear that. Anyway, here's the rest of this gorgeous song, Despegue, from El Combo Oscuro, out this Thursday, April 20th. Let's get down.